Here's a very pretty bridesmaid dress with just one strap. So I'm going to show you how to reduce this particular strap in a different way than is revealed in one of my free videos, because you need to know how to do this more, I'm going to say, labor-intensive way when the style of the dress dictates that you should. In the other video, you were shown how to reduce it when it's too long, right up here at the very top of the shoulder. This time, we're going to take out the excess here at the back. So at the back, on the lining side, mark where the strap needs to be reinserted once you reduce it in size. So I'm making some chalk marks. You do what your preference would be. Now I'm going to release this after I've marked how much I need off the strap, which happens to be 1 1/4 inches. The strap is in at a bit of an angle, so you need to honor that angle. By marking at each end. And draw your line. This is going to end up flush with that. Okay, here now I'm just releasing the last bit of the strap, and now it's out. I'm going to be real close to a stay here. It's okay if your opening is a bit bigger than the actual strap width. Now, tuck it in, match it up to the line, and that's how it's going to be. At this point, you could opt to simply hand sew, if you're a good hand sewer, all of this in and never have to mess with threading the machine. So you'd want to carefully make hidden stitches in the front and very strong stitches in the back. You decide, but now we'll go over to the machine and do it that way. Because this is one of those dresses where you can get your hand all the way up from the bottom skirt through the waist to the armpit or the back, as we need in this event. Slip your hand through between the skirts, come on up, grasp this, and turn it wrong side out. If you have to release this here because it's in the way so you can get at it, that's what you do until you're finally there. And you're watching for your line. Here it is. But you want to match up as closely as possible to the previous stitching line. Pin it in place, and I'm going to actually do so from the side where I'm going to encounter that stay. Old stitching line, and just pin it. Yep, you're there. And after all that turning inside out and threading the machine, all you have to do is zip. Now, I'm studying this. Does it look like I'm at the angle I'm supposed to be at? Let's revisit that. No, I wasn't. Get it as true to the original nature as you can. There. That is feeling perfect. Okay, we're ready to stitch across here, being mindful of the stay. Here we go. Okay, it's all in. Now, do I want to recreate this stitching line here that got interrupted by the new strap? I don't think so, because to get into the closed quarters, to do that, you have to peel this lining away from the dress and get in there close to the strap just to secure it that way. No, I ran 2 lines of stitching rather, where we just sewed for security. It's too rascally to go after this stitching line, but if you want to and that's your preference, of course, you do it. But she swears she's only going to wear this dress once. It makes no difference to the way it looks on the outside. You can just leave it go if you want, okay? Finished. Okay, we have a formal wear dress that badly needs its side invisible zipper replaced. I tried to hold out for a dress that wasn't black to demonstrate this with, but one has not come along. So we're just going to take this sunshiny day and show you how to do it on a black dress. Okay? I do offer a free video that shows how to do this on an unlined dress, but we're going to deal with lining, putting this long zipper back in, with a new zipper, I should say, replace it with a new zipper, and then, while we won't make it permanent, I am going to demonstrate how you would reposition this zipper. Say you had to take in this side 2 inches. So you would take the other side in normally as demonstrated in video 1, but when you have a zipper on the side and have to take that side in too, all things being equal, you need to take out the zipper, and if it's not this wrecked, there's a way to reposition it in the proper area, or if you have to take the entire zipper out and replace it, well, then you follow these instructions and the instructions of taking it in that I'm going to show you. Okay. On a different dress of a different color, I'm going to show you how you would take it in, not at the underarm here, but make more of an hourglass appearance through the waist and hip. So we're going to have to put this zipper at a curved angle along the side. So these are the things that I'm going to show you today. Let's begin. First, to get this invisible zipper all the way out, rip it all the way out. I'm not going to demonstrate to you how to do that because you're an advanced sewer and you know how to detach this zipper and get it all the way away from the lining, all the way down to where it ends, and from the front as well. So go ahead and get this zipper entirely out. Now here's the perfect example of how life works out sometimes. I ripped out the zipper only to find that I remember this dress. The client had me take it in at the underarm 1 inch. Just as I was talking about before, I wanted to demonstrate for you. Only she didn't have me trim much of the excess in case she wanted it let out in the future. So here I have drawn the original line, and here's the line that we recently did for her that we're going to recreate with a new zipper, and see how down here it then tapers to the original seam because the zipper comes all this way down, but we'll be at the original manufacturer's stitching line here. So this is kind of Providence. I'm going to be able to show you everything I wanted to on this black dress. Okay? Okay, so just to be clear, I'm actually taking this underarm in 2 inches, 1 inch each side. And I guess the trade-off of the magic that's going on here is I don't have a zipper that's as long as the original, and the next size I could get was way too long. So don't let that bother you. If that happens to you, you can opt to do the too long or the too short and make it work. We're going to make the shorter one work. So, unzip said zipper. This is how we want it to end up. So we got to flip it. Flip it and match just inside the teeth to the chalk line. After I've got it pinned, I'll be right back with you. Looks like I'm going to be about just an inch short. All right, so upside down, pinned on, ready to go. I have kind of a funny little zipper foot. You probably have something that looks more like the photos I'm going to show you next. So just get familiar. Get familiar with your zipper foot and use it. Now on the first pass, I can never get as close as I want to the teeth. So I'm probably going to go a second time, which makes a lot of sense because as much stress as these formal wear zippers, invisible zippers, undergo when gals are getting zipped up, it could really use 2 passes. See, now I'm almost down to the end, and I want to make sure that the zipper pulls out of the way as I approach and get as close as I can before all of this hardware bumps up against the pole. Just get as close as you can, go slow. Now I'm on the second pass and finding it infinitely easier to spread these teeth way out so that I can get closer to them, since it's all secured by that first line of stitching. I'm able to get, another 1/8 of an inch closer, which makes all the difference to this zipper truly looking invisible. You decide if that's what you're going to do. Maybe your device, maybe your universal zipper foot will get you closer. You get to be the wise judge how you're going to do that. Okay, keep going. One side done, zips up beautifully, nice and close. We want to achieve that on the other side. Now the advantage of having a device like I showed you in the photos earlier is you can start from the top again on the other side. I won't be able to. I've never been able to make my gizmo work where I can shift it to the other side. So I'll probably be starting from the bottom, which is sometimes harder. I guess we'll see. Okay? And hey, when you're pinning that other side, you want to make sure you have the tab facing out the right way so that it's all going to fold in nice. And you want to test zip. So don't pin so close to the teeth on the other side. Wow, you got to make sure this shirring matches up. So let's zip and see if it does. It does! Good enough. We're at the very bottom of the zipper, inside out, where we just had that 1 inch or so gap remaining. And just as though you were making this dress from scratch, you're taught to put the zipper sides in first and then finish the seam wherever it occurs. So here I have it pinned by sandwiching in the zipper where I feel like the bottom of the tab is. We're going to sew this stretch here and hope that it matches up very nicely. This is the hard part. This is probably the hardest part, I feel like, of doing an invisible zipper. But let's go for it. Oh, got real lucky and it worked out great. That zipper is in, clear down at the bottom. No misery this time, thank goodness. Now there's a little something I want to remind you of, or I should say, point out to you, and that is, if you don't have a gap remaining at the bottom, and the zipper is going to be flush to the original seam, when you go down that second side, don't go down as far to the bottom stop as you did on the first side. Why? You need to have enough room to pull that zipper tab up so you can get it up. And then you'll have to find a way to go around that last little bit with the zipper zipped up. And that can be a little challenging sometimes too. Okay, so what remains is putting the top of the zipper back together with the lining. Remember, you peeled away so much. We peeled away so much, so this is still detached and needs to be back together, just like it pretty much is on this side. And then we'll deal. See, nicely for me, the lining side is already all set up from when I did it before. But you would want to, on the lining side, press under or fold under the same amount as you did on the dress side. And again, I'm not going to trim any excess in case she wants to be let out in the future. And all this will lay nicely down next to the zipper teeth. And we'll sew it by hand. Okay, hand sewing away we go. All you really need to do is go through the lining and the zipper tab. You don't have to catch the front of the dress. Carry on. Oh, did I mention my little trick when I was closing the gap down at the bottom of the zipper? I continued to use my zipper foot and I managed to get it switched over to the other side, because you'll probably notice when you're doing down there that when you're trying to fold that zipper tab and the bottom stop and everything in half in order to get up as far as you can at the seam, pretty thick there. So you're glad then that you only have hardware on one side of your needle. That's why I continued on using it. Do what works for you. Okay, we are just about done. Okay, all zipped up, my friends. all zipped up.